Okay, thank you, Dr. Gomez.
Yes. That'll do it for Live at 5. We thank you for joining us.
Here are Chuck and Michelle with News Channel 4 at 6. Good night.
You're watching NBC4, the Tri-State News Channel. And now, Chuck Scarborough, Michelle Marsh, Janice Huff, and Len Berman. This is News Channel 4 at 6.
Relief for a New Jersey mother as her son, listed as missing after the World Trade Center attacks, has now been found.
And New York is going for the gold. Will the city host this Summer Olympics? Good evening. New York City is now a big step closer to hosting the 2012 Summer Games.
New York was one of 4 American cities being considered, but now it is one of 2 being considered. The U.S. Olympic Committee will make its final choice in November. Bruce Beck is in Chicago, where the announcement was made less than 1 hour ago. Bruce.
Chuck, a big step today for the Big Apple. New York joining San Francisco as one of the 2 candidate cities for the 2012 Summer Olympics. The major announcement was made here in Chicago 1 hour ago.
Team has selected New York and San Francisco to present to the full board of the United States on November 3rd, the United States Olympic Committee.
With that announcement, New York City advanced to the field of 2 with a chance of representing the United States as the lone candidate city for the 2012 Summer Olympics. New York built a strong case for being selected. Just last month, welcoming USOC officials for Phase 2 site evaluations. The proposed Olympic Village, Queens West, is impressive. A spectacular waterfront spot with 4,400 housing units. The venues intended for the 28 Olympic sports are as diverse as its people, with the 5 boroughs and New Jersey all suggested as host locations. Joining me right now is Dan Doctoroff, president of NYC 2012. Dan, what does it mean to New York and to all of the people that work so diligently to help keep New York alive in the bid for the 2012 Olympics?
Well, we're obviously thrilled with the decision by the USOC that New York will be one of the 2 finalists. It's an important step, a critical step. Without it, that would have been it. That would have ended New York's Olympic dream. So we're thrilled to be where we are right now.
A lot of questions remain regarding a stadium, the extension of the number 7 subway line, housing. How are you going to deal with these problems and these challenges?
Well, I think given the fact that we were selected today, the answers that we've given to the USOC seem to satisfy them so far. We've made incredible progress on every single element of our plan, and we're going to continue to do that over the next several months. But I think the message today was they think we can get it done in a way that will result in just a spectacular Olympic Games.
Dan, congratulations.
Thanks so much, Bruce. Pleasure to be here.
So New York is reveling in the opportunity to be the host city for the 2012 Olympics. Still a long way to go. We're live in Chicago. I'm Bruce Beck, News Channel 4. Chuck, back to you.
All right, Bruce, thank you. Now, Mayor Bloomberg reacted by saying it's an honor for New York to be selected as one of 2 U.S. finalists. The mayor also said the Olympics represent the world just like New York.
There is no city that remotely comes close to representing the world the way the 8 million people, 40% of whom were born overseas, who live here do.
He also pointed out that the city is particularly suited to getting athletes and spectators around with its train, bus, and subway systems.
A Brooklyn man is dead tonight after waving a gun at police. The gun turned out to be a toy. Tiwa Chang is live in Bedford-Stuyvesant with more. Tiwa?
Well, Michelle, this is where the shooting took place, right behind me here on Green Avenue. We can zoom and you can see on the ground as the police move aside, those little numbers, the yellow numbers, are where the police technician picked up shell casings. Now, according to the police sources, 2 uniformed officers from the 79th Precinct responded to a call of a man with a gun. They found the man. They ended up shooting him. He was shot, according to police sources, 4 times and died before they could get him to the hospital. Now, all this began on another side of the street over here at the So Greatest Salvation Ministries. According to the neighbors again, what happened was this man who works there got in an argument with a woman about the number of juices she was getting. They began to argue with each other and threaten each other. And according to the neighbors, she then called the police and said he had a gun. They responded and found the man on the street, and as he was walking away, he walked over toward that brownstone where the shooting actually took place. Now, what the police say and what the neighbors are saying differ greatly, but let's listen to what the neighbors say about what happened when the police first approached the man.
And as I was coming out the store, he was arguing with a lady from the laundromat over the soup kitchen because she kept on coming back and getting juices, and he told her that she can't come back and get all them juices like that. They started arguing, And he told her, all right, I'ma chill. And she started threatening him. So he threatened her. Then she called the cops, and the cops came, and then he was walking up the block, and they told him to freeze. He turned around, he held up his hands, lifted up his shirt, and he held up his hands, and they saw his glasses case, and they thought it was a gun. And the two white cops opened fire, and they shot him.
Still showing them that it was a toy camera, and when he was walking towards them, showing them that he had a toy camera, and they still shot him up.
Now, the police say that toy gun or toy camera, whatever it was, looked very realistic to them. It looked like a real gun. They're going to let us take a look at it later. Reporting live in Bedford-Stuyvesant is the TWA News Channel 4. Now back to Chuck.
Tiwa, thank you. A New Jersey family got stunningly good news. A loved one who has been listed as missing since 9/11 is, in fact, alive. He was found in a New York hospital and doesn't remember a thing. Pat Battle has the story.
Today is Anna Sims' 65th birthday, but her gift was delivered 2 weeks ago when she learned that her 46-year-old son, George, missing since September 11th, was alive, suffering from amnesia somewhere in a New York healthcare facility.
They called me and said, Mrs. Sims, could you fax us a picture of your son? Because they went by, this person he took his exact birth date, and his social security number was off by a few numbers. Some things he remember, and they went by that, and then my son faxed him a picture, and it matched, and we was hysterical ever since then. So.
George Vincent Sims didn't work in the Twin Towers, but sometimes sold knickknacks on the streets outside. His mother says someone saw him there on September 11th, and a month later, when he hadn't returned home, she filed a missing persons report at a family assistance center in Jersey City.
I waited because I wanted to be sure. I waited a while. I just didn't believe he was home. I thought he was going to turn up, and he did.
Anna Sims said her son did suffer from schizophrenia, but wasn't diagnosed with amnesia until after he was hospitalized. In fact, she says she doesn't know to this day whether he was in or around the towers on the day of the attacks. And frankly, neither does he.
I couldn't be 100% sure, but he's alive. What can I tell you? Everybody, they were all looking for him down there, so I thank God he's alive. It's a nice present for me.
It's a gift that nearly 3,000 other families had hoped for as they crisscrossed the city in the days and weeks following the disaster in Lower Manhattan, looking for their loved ones, even as the hospitals insisted all their patients had been accounted for. So how do you explain George? Well, if someone dropped the ball, they're not saying. And his mother says only,
I hope and pray that other people be so fortunate, but I thank God.
In Newark, Pat Battle, News Channel 4.
For the first time this summer, a Nassau County man has been diagnosed with symptoms of the West Nile virus. Amy Nuzzo is live now in Plainview with the story for us. Amy?
Well, a 69-year-old man here in Plainview has contracted West Nile virus, making this the first human case of West Nile in Nassau County so far this year. The county health department is not releasing the man's name. They say he became ill with a fever and altered mental status on August 11th, was hospitalized 2 days later, then discharged on the 20th. Tests now confirm he was infected with the mosquito-borne disease. The Plainview man is said to be at home recovering. Obvious question is does the county plan to change its no pesticide spraying policy in light of this finding? The answer is no. There are no plans to begin spraying, according to county health officials, only plans to heighten surveillance and keep a close eye on mosquito activity in the county. Meanwhile, Suffolk County is planning its second straight night of pesticide spraying in response to 3 suspected human cases in the county, one of them fatal. Also plans to spray tonight in Staten Island. Take a look, 8:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. There will be spraying in Oakwood Beach, New Dorp, Silver Lake Golf Course, and all areas west of Huguenot Avenue. In Suffolk County tonight, between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m., there will be spraying in Melville, South Huntington, Huntington Manor, and Huntington Station. Once again, Nassau County reporting its first human case of West Nile virus this year. Reporting live from Plainview, Amy Nuzzo, News Channel 4.
Thanks, Amy.
Straight ahead on News Channel 4 at 6, just a week away from the first day of school in New York City, kids just found out they just added more days.
And City Hall rolls out the red carpet for the Harlem All-Stars. Stay with us. New York's new schools chancellor issued his first order this week, and it could be an unpleasant surprise for students as they get ready to go back to school. He added more school days. John Noel is in the newsroom with more for us. John.
Michelle, students apparently are the only ones who will not like what the school chancellor has done, giving them 2 more days in the classroom by ending a practice many parents and teachers thought was a waste of time. In this case, adding 2 more days to the school year beginning in September doesn't mean the school year will be longer. What it does mean is that 2 days teachers in New York City public schools had to use for what's called professional development teacher training will now be regular school days. The change in school schedule coming in the form of a memorandum the new school's chancellor, Joel Klein, sent out to superintendents across the city.
I think it's exactly the right thing to do. I've said all along we need more instructional time with the children. It would be nice to have lots of other things, but you have to get back to focusing on the basics.
The 2 days in question are September 27th and December 13th. On those days, kids stayed home while teachers attended workshops. Parents often complain about their children losing valuable classroom time and the hassle of finding sitters. And as it turns out, many teachers apparently weren't happy with the arrangement either and support the change.
There are some naysayers and critics that think so ill of teachers. They think that teachers would rather have professional development than be with their kids, which is just not true. And in fact, all too often, this was superintendent or principal driven, and it felt like a faculty conference as opposed to doing something that was tailored to what a teacher needed and what the kids in her classroom needed.
Now, this change also means New York City public school students will have 184 classroom days a year, 4 more than the state requires. Now, teachers will still get their professional training time, part of the deal that has them working an extra 20 minutes a day. In the newsroom, John Noel, News Channel 4. Chuck, back to you.
All right, John, thank you. Still ahead as we continue, News Channel 4 at 6. Tennis great Althea Gibson will be honored tonight at the U.S. Open. And why are Marilyn and Elvis registered to vote in New York? A Jay DeDapper report.
Tonight, Dr. Phil. Love him or hate him, he seems to be everywhere these days.
I do want to rock your boat.
What's behind the phenomenon? NBC Nightly News tonight.
There was strong evidence tonight that thousands of fake voters have been signed up in New York City. One of them is even named Marilyn Monroe. Political reporter Jay DeDapper is here now with more on this for us. Jay.
Questions about the surge of new voters registering in the Independence Party this month prompted the City Board of Elections to investigate. Although all 5 boroughs were told to do so, only 2 really did. But what they found suggests fraud on a substantial scale.
It's not often, okay, it's not ever, that Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley have been on the agenda at the Board of Elections until today. The question, how many of the roughly 18,000 brand new Independence Party members in New York City, like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley, are legit? The answer in Manhattan and Queens, at least, maybe not very many.
Questionable new registrations was 2,087.
From our calculations, it appears that not quite 1 out of 3 had problems.
Only those 2 boroughs did any extensive examination of the new registrations, which flooded boards of election all over the state 2 weeks ago, after the Pataki campaign hired a firm to sign up new members. Why bother? To try and win the independence line from Tom Golisano, who founded the party back in 1994. What board workers found was even the supposedly valid new registrations almost universally impossible to verify.
The majority of the new enrollees for the Independence Party did not include a phone number. And also we found that a lot of the phone numbers that we called were disconnected, were for a business, were for a homeless shelter, or were for a rehabilitation center.
Golisano's lawyer asked the board to act. The Republican members declined for now.
I think that there will be a referral to the district attorney. I just want to make sure that we don't do it prematurely.
So Golisano is headed to court.
The courts have jurisdiction over this, and they may instruct the board what to do, and we will seek the courts to force the boards to do what we think is the right thing.
The Pataki campaign says it told workers not to falsify voters. If any did, and the district attorney can prove it, they would be charged with a felony.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Jay.
Well, Len's up next with U.S. Open highlights.
And here's Storm Phillips now with a look at what's coming up on NBC Nightly News.
Tonight, tough talk in Texas. The Saudis won't back war with Iraq. What's the president's next move? Also, the Dr. Phil phenomenon coming up on NBC Nightly News here on NBC4.
On the next Access Hollywood, he's fast, he's fancy, he's the dancing machine. But what's his connection to American Idol Justin Guarini? Find out next Access Hollywood.
Tonight at 7:30, only on NBC4.
Great match of the U.S. Open.
It was terrific. A marathon match for the #2 seed Marat Safin. The question was, would he run out of rackets before the match ended? In the second set, Safin serving the the double fault and takes it out on his racket. And then in the third set, he disposes of another one. Interesting, he was not called for racket abuse either time. As tight as a match could get with Nicholas Kiefer, a fifth set tiebreak. Safin puts it away for the winner. Both players battling cramps. Safin surviving a scare and advances in 5 sets. On the ladies' side, Venus Williams, defending champ, taking on Mirjana Lucic of Croatia. A cakewalk for Venus in the far court. She won this match 6-love and 6-love. Venus, an easy winner today. Hingis won her comeback as well. Baseball tonight. Yankees and Red Sox at Fenway. David Wells goes for his 15th against a fellow lefty. Casey Fossum making his first career start against the Yanks. It was a dramatic win for the Red Sox last night against Anaheim after scoring 4 in the bottom of the 9th. Johnny Damon in the 10th wins the game for Boston. Keeps them very much alive in the wild card race as they trail the Yankees by a full 7 games in the East.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a good atmosphere. Obviously, they don't like us there, but it should be pretty fun.
And we're trying to put a little streak together after our last road trip, which was a good one. We won 5 in a row and lost the final game. But, you know, it'll be fun. It'll be fun here.
Joe Torre in the dugout a short time ago. Mets and Marlins will battle it out in Florida tonight. The last-place Mets looking to make it 3 straight wins. In L.A. last night, Alex Cora of the Dodgers tries to steal second. He's thrown out, but his head collides with Tony Womack's knee. Cora lost consciousness, lying motionless on the field. They had to bring in an ambulance and carry out Cora on a stretcher. A concussion, it was said to be. Cora released from the hospital today. He's listed as day-to-day. Arizona won that game 6-3-12. Giants and Jets, both with 1 exhibition game left before they kick it off for real next week. Giants, who host the Ravens Thursday night, went at it today in the Meadowlands. And although Kerry Collins and Tiki Barber won't play this week, they are both excited about the talent that this Giants team has shown.
This is the best group of skill players that I've ever been around, and guys that I've played with and have some familiarity with, and guys that are new but can play, like Jeremy Shockey and a couple of young receivers. So we expect big things from them this year.
Athleticism, it is the most that we've ever had here, and that's encouraging. If we can keep guys healthy, I think we can do something this year.
Well, they're optimistic now. Oh, at Giants practice today, John Bon Jovi was there. The self-proclaimed Giants fan will perform a concert in Times Square to kick off the football season a week from Thursday. So, what happened when the Giants ran a play for him? Oh, my goodness, he fumbled. If he thinks he has a future in football, he's living on a prayer, which, as you know, is one of his major hits, Chuck. I knew you knew that. Tomorrow night, we're going to go spanning the world, so join us for that. All right. Thanks, Anthony.
Coming up, a big welcome back for some special kids. New York City opens its arms and its heart to say, great job, Team Harlem.
And Janice Huff is going to have the forecast when we come back. Stay tuned. Sue, what do we have at 11 tonight?
After Dateline, an update from the Tennessee office of former Vice President Al Gore. Early this evening, we learned that a suspicious white powder spilled from an envelope that was mailed to Gore's Nashville office. We'll have the very latest on the FBI investigation tonight at 11. Now back to you, Michelle and Charles.
All right, Sue.
Well, Janice has a great assignment tonight. She's doing the weather from the U.S. Open, and perfect weather today for the players, right?
That's right, Michelle. It was perfect weather today here at the U.S. Open. Tomorrow's going to be a different story, especially tomorrow night into Thursday and Friday. We are expecting rain, unfortunately, but we'll get to all that in a moment. Tonight, a special tribute is being paid to a tennis great, Althea Gibson, and it's going to be a really special event that's going on here tonight. With me, you've seen some video right here of Althea playing back in the day when she was a champion at the U.S. Open and also at the French titles and at Wimbledon as well. There she is, and we have with us today Fran Gray, who is president of the Althea Gibson Foundation, and Gloria Rubin, actress. Many of you recognize her, of course, from ER and many other things. Welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
And thank you so very much for having us here and honoring Althea.
Now, you know, a lot of young people do not understand or know about the legacy of Althea. And a lot of people don't realize that she's still alive and kicking today.
Althea Gibson is the original African-American champion of tennis. She won French, the Italian, Wimbledon, U.S. Open, defending her titles. She is alive, and she has just celebrated a birthday, which maybe Gloria will talk about.
Oh, excellent. Okay, Gloria, tell us a little bit about that. Now, you are here as a special guest tonight. You're a big tennis player yourself.
I am, yes. Obviously not nearly as good as Ms. Gibson or the other Rubin that happens to be on the circuit right now. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the game. And obviously the acknowledgement of a woman like Althea is huge, particularly in the sport world. And in her time when she really broke all kinds of barriers and leapt over all kinds of challenges to break the mold and to make her dreams come true. So anytime, that there's a recognition of a woman like that, and particularly, again, somebody like Althea, I'm here to offer my support and hopefully bring some more, some younger people who may not know about Althea. We're kind of talking about some ideas to make that more well known about Althea's life and the incredible woman that she is.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck to that. You got anything going on? I know not too long ago you were singing with Tina Turner.
I know, right? I do all kinds of wacky things, don't I?
Sounds like fun, though.
It is fun. Great fun.
Excellent. All right. Well, we'll be looking for you, Gloria. We'll be looking around for you. And thank you so much, Fran. And we wish Althea all the best. We really do. And there's a beautiful portrait of her done by an artist, I think back in 1969. That certainly is beautiful. Thank you both. We also have another guest here, Daniel Zausner from the USTA. Hello, Daniel.
Good
Now,
evening.
you're in charge of everything that goes on inside this building, which is a big task this year, considering what has happened since a year ago, September 11th. How have you managed to deal with that?
Well, it's a big task every year, actually, and we started preparing for it the day after the events were over last year. We've had tremendous support from the local, state, and federal government, and we're ready to go. We've had 2 great days already.
Okay, well, congratulations and good luck on a new and a wonderful U.S. Open this year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, let's check on the weather for you, see what's happening. Of course, it's a little hazy, a little cloudy, just high clouds, 82 degrees right now and partly cloudy. Winds are out of the northeast and the barometer is steady. The forecast for tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures will drop through the 60s and 70s. For tomorrow, we expect highs in the low 70s with rain late tomorrow afternoon all the way through Thursday into early Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we're talking about scattered afternoon thunderstorms. Nothing heavy, nothing continuous. So the Labor Day weekend so far looks to be okay. That's it live from the U.S. Open right here in Flushing Meadows, Queens. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Janice. Finally tonight,
She did play with pride and with passion.
a big day for the Harlem Little Leaguers. They were welcomed to City Hall by Mayor Bloomberg. The team made it to the U.S. semifinals of the Little League World Series in Williamsport. Mayor Bloomberg congratulating the boys today for their tremendous effort in Pennsylvania, as well as for being the Mid-Atlantic champions. So much to be proud of for these young men. The Harlem All-Star team then ended their day by ringing the closing bell at the stock exchange.
But they gave us a lot of excitement.
They sure did. We love them. And that's News Channel 4 at 6.
NBC Nightly News, LaStone Phillips is straight ahead. Sue and I hope to see you once again at 11 o'clock tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good night.